Hello, Rickety video. Today we're going to take a look at a very spicy team here. We're going to have the Galarian version of Weezing as our save swap with Sludge, which is actually really decent. Like, nobody runs Sludge, but here in this meta it feels like one of the best moves that you can run on it, because you can always bait those steel types with it, because I don't want to get overheated. And yeah, like we see here already, first Sludge gets a shield, second Sludge gets a shield, and we can overheat this steel type away. We have in our lead the Raticate. Raticate, if you didn't know, really wants to have Return. Return helps this Pokemon out way more than you expect. Don't go for the Shadow version, go for the Purified version. It's a little bit better. It's basically like a Sableye. It's actually a little bit bulkier than a Sableye, has pretty similar coverage. And then we have our Salazzle in the back. Salazzle has access to Fire Blast, which is not the recommended moveset. If you actually want to run this team, I would recommend you to run the Dragon Pulse. I just had Fire Blast still on from the last time and I didn't check Poke on what is better. So I just went for it and it was funny, but it was definitely not the best idea. But we see here someone with also Eradicate, but they are not purified, so we can go for one return. And we do more damage. We will try to catch the move here on our Weezing, but we will get out the Wormadam. Again, this time around, they already wasted one shield. We will be able to go for one overheat here, and we will get the final shield and also the Pokemon with them. Because Galarian Weezing is just so spammy, you can just overheat everything, and it's insane. But yeah, I climbed 100 points with this team in 3 sets, which is kind of insane because you wouldn't really expect it. I haven't seen really a Galarian Weezing against me yet. Eradicate, this is the first one that I faced when I have my own selected right now as well. And then the Salazzle, also I haven't faced anybody using this Pokemon. Because it's very squishy, it's a little bit tricky to use, but this Pokemon is a ton of fun to use because you just need 2 Incinerates to go for 1 Poison Fang, which makes this Pokemon so much cooler and actually really decent as a sweeper, especially endgame here, as we can just Incinerate down nearly everything. Next opponent, again my brother. Yeah, they play still the same team that they played last time, and they still hard counter me like last time, so there's not a lot that I can do in this time. I know that I could have actually played it a little bit better. I could have stayed in the lead because I know that they have a Swilus and Sharpedo in the back, and I know for both of them my Weezing would be really decent against them, but yeah, like I also know that my Salazzle is completely useless against this team because it's only decent against Speedrill, and of course he has 2 decent answers in the back. Also, I would have been way better off if I just had Dragon Pulse here to knock out the Swilus, maybe even in time before they get to their charge move. So there are a ton of things that I could have done still differently that might have been able to win me the game there. Definitely, Dragon Pulse is definitely better than Fire Blast on Salazzle. Fire Blast doesn't really make too much sense. You already have the damage of the fast move here. Everything that's weak to fire is usually double weak to fire and just goes down to some Incinerates anyway. So it doesn't really matter too much about having Fire Blast. There are not a lot of neutral matchups where you want to have Fire Blast, so yeah, just try to go for Dragon Pulse if you want to run this team, because I can actually recommend you this team. One reason as well why I went for Sludge on the Weezing is because of the Azumarill matchup. I don't really seem to have a decent Azumarill answer on paper at least, but I still have my Galarian Weezing here, which will be able to get the 2 shields from the opponent, which is amazing. Sludge is still gonna get the shield from them. I'm not sure if I would have survived one Night Slash there because it's resisted, but I don't really think so because they're of course a Steel type and a Shadow type there and has a ton of attack, so I don't really expect this. I will be able to go for 2 moves though against this Scizor with my Salazzle here, and I will most likely see a Wormadam in the back, which at least is what I expect, but I can go for one combo play here. I can go for the Poison Fang, I can go for the Return, and this will together knock out the Azumarill, and bye-bye Azumarill, bye-bye all your energy that you had. And now we see the Wormadam in the back, which is a solid team. As you can see, I also put it into my top 10 team video, and I guess when people are in this rating with this team, I guess it does work. But I guess I just outplayed it because I know how they play and what they have in the back, so this will be a pretty easy win now, as Salazzle can just go for 1 Incinerate, completely Incinerate them down, and we will win this game. Next opponent, we will see the Marowak in the lead. Seems to be a pretty decent lead. It's kind of neutral most of the time, but it's fine. We see an Obstagoon coming in. Obstagoon is a pretty decent matchup here. It's kind of unfortunate that you don't have Play Rough, of course, because you don't really do that much damage with Sludge. But maybe I can get some shields from them. I have to see. I can just go for 1 Sludge here and see what they're going to do. Sludge is 40 energy energy move that does 50 damage, which is kinda underwhelming to be honest, but I think it's like an elemental punch to be honest. I think that's the same damage, but I'm not sure. I think elemental punches might even do 5 more damage or something. I think they do 55 damage, but Sludge is still fine. Sludge can bait them out, and we can still go for 1 overheat here, and even for 1 resisted and double debuffed Sludge, which is going to do like 1 damage at them. Actually did more than I thought. And we see a Scrafty in the back. Scrafty, we have of course our own Salazzle. But actually, something that I didn't know, Salazzle will not be able to win this matchup, which is something that is weird because they are poison type. I'm going to let the first move go through because I was like, yeah, going to be a power punch anyway. I have to shield the next ones because I'm super squishy. I can go for another poison fang now, and I will be able to reach another one afterwards. But I'm pretty sure that they can just go ahead and farm me down. So, I don't reach this move, I can go for 1 crunch here, but I have to shield this move up. And now we're in a tough spot because, of course, this might not even KO. Let's see what that's going to do. Thanks to the debuffs, it does KO. But, the issue here is now they have this Mirror with a ton of energy. They can go for 1 Bone Club, and they can go for another Bone Club. And this does not knock me out, and we survive by 1 HP, and Raticate is a monster. Like, honestly, all those Pokemon that I have on my team right now are all sleeper picks. I don't see anybody using them, and they basically beat everything in the meta, which is kind of crazy. We see the Azumarill against us. We can do the same as we did before. We go up to 1 return, and we can swap out. Next opponent goes into their Sableye. Sableye is not something that you really want to swap into the Weezing usually, but because we don't run Play Rough, it's a little bit of a toughie. But we can still shield this one up, and I think they already know at this point of time that we don't have the Play Rough. We don't know yet, but let's see. We can go ahead and go for an overheat, get the final shield, which makes it way better for my Salazzle in the back. They have to go for 1 return here, and they go for 1 return. So we can now go ahead, go into our Eradicate, go for 1 crunch. They are far away from any move that would damage me here, so I should be able to not farm them down by go for 1 more swap into Salazzle and farm them down with my Incinerate. They will not have the Hydro Pump here anyway, like nobody runs Hydro Pump in this meta. I will go ahead and go for my Poison Fangs, which is going to get this thing low. Gonna get this thing super low as we see a Frostless coming in here. Frostless will be able to farm me down here, but not before I will be able to put them into range for 1 crunch. This crunch coming through. And our little red boy here still has a shield left. Our red boy here is also able to survive 1 Play Rough from this range as far as I know, because we're pretty bulky. And our red boy is also able to go for 1 return and completely annihilate this little bunny here. Bye bye Azumarill. And we can go into the next game. Like, you see how good this team is. Like, I nearly won every game with this. And like, some games I just lost because I played horrible. So it's kind of crazy. Like, this team is super strong. Something that I didn't expect that it would work that much. I also have the same team, by the way, in my top 10 video for this league. If you haven't checked this out, it's on my channel. And as far as I can see, all my predictions for this league were kind of correct. So I take this one. We will see the opponent here going for 1 Awkward Tail, which doesn't do as much damage. I misplay this game, by the way. I definitely misplay this one here because I just don't go for my charge moves quick enough. They have now another Awkward Tail and don't really want to shield here, as I don't really want to be in this matchup anyway. And now I'm in a tough spot, but I also have my Salazzle, and my Salazzle likes to have some extra energy. My Salazzle also likes to have some nice Poison Fangs. And my Salazzle going to have to let this move go through, which is not the ideal scenario. We can go for 1 Poison Fang now. We can try to get the shield from the opponent, which we do not get, and we have to kind of try to go for a charge move now. We are in such a tough spot, like there is most likely no way back here. Especially with a Tyranitar in the back. Tyranitar, by the way, is one of the worst possible Pokemon that I can pick here. I couldn't put in 2 extra wins. I'm not sure if there was a one with Tyranitar. I know that I won against 1 Tyranitar with this team, which is kind of crazy. But I'm not sure if it's in this video. I know that I like put off 2 games, which I think were wins at the end of the video because it would have been too long. But we will see the Escavalier coming in here. Escavalier knows that we of course have overheat, knows that this one will not knock them out. We will be able to shield this next move up, and we can overfarm. And we can overfarm by a little bit, and we can go for an overheat. And let's see if my opponent knows my move counts for Weezing. This is the crazy thing about Sludge. They don't know how much energy Sludge needs, and you will see here that they don't know that overheat is already ready. And we will be able to get the Dragalge out of the way as well. We're going to keep 1 overheat because it might be coming handy at the end, because like what doesn't want to like get hit by 1 overheat. The Dragalge can go for 2 Awkward Tails, doesn't knock me out, and we will see the Wormadam. Wormadam doesn't want to get hit by an Overheat, I would say. So we will be able to go for one Crunch here, we will be able to go for another one, but they are actually going to surrender here. Next opponent, we will see a Galvantula in the lead. Seems to be a horrible lead, but we can swap out basically pretty freely on the launch into our Weezing, which will double resist this, I think. So it does basically 0 damage. It of course still debuffs us, but what we can do now here is we can just let this next move go through as well. We would survive it and still get to move, as we see the Umbreon coming in. This is horrible because we don't have a Play Rough user here. We just have the Overheat, and therefore we're just gonna go straight for Overheat. We're just going to overheat them all, and I know already from like time before we battled that they run Psychic here, so we will be able to sadly not swap out, but I knew already that this will be a Psychic. They already make a video about this as well on YouTube, so we will be able to just now go ahead and let this move go through. We will be able to also see the Manabus in the back. We're just going to go straight Return here. Return will 2-shot this Manabus, but they also know this, so they're going to let this move go through. I will be able to now no-shield this move. It will do some nice damage, but I can go for 1 Return. And at this point I wasn't sure if I still get to 1 Crunch afterwards. And sadly, I will not, so I have to swap out into my Salazzle. And we have some lag here. And this lag more benefits me, I would say, because now I have a ton more energy with my Salazzle. We both hit the lag at the same time. Else we will see the Umbreon coming in now. The Umbreon will not appreciate this Poison Fang. I can go for another one. I either get the shield here or knock them out, and I will be able to knock them out. And we will see the next opponent coming in there with the Galvantula there. The Galvantula doesn't want to face this Poison Fang either. Do they shield this? They do shield this. They get to another move, but I can also get to another fast move through. They will go for the Discharge, which, I mean, yeah, can be okay. I think a Lunge would have also KO'd me, but this next Poison Fang will knock out the Manabus. And basically, my Salazzle completely swept the entire opponent there at the end of the game, which is crazy. Maybe this is the Tyranitar game that we won. I know that I won at least one of those Tyranitar games there. As we will be able to go ahead and go for 1 Crunch here. We got this thing low. We can go into our Weezing, and we will be able to shield up this move. We already have this Tyranitar pretty low, but not crazy low. As we see a Nidoqueen coming in. This is not very good for me. Nidoqueen would be even able to farm me all the way down here. We will get the shield from them though back, which is good, but they can go for 1 Poison Fang now and most likely knock me out with our 1 more fast move. But we actually go for another Overheat here, which is cool. This Overheat will be able to get at least half of its health gone, and we go into our Salazzle. We will be able to resist most of the moves. I actually wanted to try to swap out there, but it didn't work out for whatever reason. We can shield the Earth Power, and we have 2 Poison Fangs stored now. We will see the Tyranitar coming in, and we can go for 1 Charge move here, which actually already knocks out the Tyranitar. And so bye-bye Tyranitar. We can go ahead and go for more Poison Fangs here against this incoming Toxicroak. As we keep our Poison Fang alive, we can still go for 1 Crunch here. This Crunch will do some nice damage, and this Crunch will also put them into range for another Poison Fang, and we will be able to survive this one, and we will be able to win this game here. Very nice. Let's see the next game. We're going to see the Crispy Chris here with the Toxapex in the lead. Toxapex is of course something a little bit more awkward to deal with. They seem to have a little bit of lag issues there, I'm not sure. But we can go just straight for Crunch. I think like Return does more damage per energy, don't get me wrong, but I want the defense drop, so that's the main reason why I go for this. And as far as I get this thing a little bit closer to death, it's fine for me. I kind of want to keep my Eradicate alive, so I'm going to catch the Sludge Wave here. And we will get out the Marowak. So I guess it was a smart decision to sacrifice this little Weezing there. We will be able to go for an Overheat. And we will be able to go for another Sludge here, which most likely going to do basically no damage. But at least we are now kind of free with this. But they have Fire Blast. And we are getting completely wrecked by this here right now. There's not a lot that I can do anymore. I will be able to shield this move up, but like, what am I supposed to do now? This is kind of insane. And we see a Spiders coming in. Basically, we got hardwalled there. There was nothing we could have done. As we see that we start into this match a little bit later than the opponent for whatever reason. Good programming, Niantic. We will be able to go for 1 Sludge here, which will get the shield from the opponent again. This is most likely an Iron Head, so I'm going to shield it up. It's going to be Play Rough. What? I didn't even shield up. Why didn't I shield up? Okay, usually I shield up those moves from the Morwhale. That's kind of lucky for me now that they have Play Rough. Usually they're an Iron Head in this meta. Don't know why I did that, don't ask me, that was not the ideal play. I will be able to shield up this Poison Fang though from the Golbat, and I will be able to just completely annihilate this thing here with a one Fire Blast. This Fire Blast will destroy that thing, of course, and we will see that the opponent comes in too. They're Dragalge now. I have to swap out, of course. I am in a pretty horrible matchup, but of course our Raticate is a very good boy. Our Raticate allows to return things here, and this thing just going to return it to the center and will be able to destroy this one. We will see the Mawile coming in, and we can still go for one Crunch. This Crunch will do enough damage to put them into a range where we should be able to reach this next Poison Fang, KO them with that, and this is going to be it for this video. Leave a like if you haven't already. I really enjoyed the Spicier team. This worked out so well. Thanks for watching. See you next one. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.